how did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figured most journalists would not disclose their sources.
The recordings give viewers an intimate look at Combs' mindset ahead of his criminal trial, even conversations with his legal team.
Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt he knows.
So when this airs, that'll be the first time that his legal team, Diddy, that everybody knows that this footage is now seeing the light of day.
Perhaps.
What was he intending to use it for?
I have no idea what he was doing that for.
I mean, you're talking about a man who films himself doing everything and has for decades. I think he wanted someone to be behind the scene.
That's just like that one dude talking about he still tastes Diddy in his mouth. What?
Guys, this is nuts. Sean Diddy Combs was still filming himself a week before he got arrested, months after the feds had already raided and taken all his tapes. And somehow that footage got to 50 Cent, who's now put it in his Netflix documentary.
It's videos, it has footage, it has interviews from his friends, people in the industry, the co-founder of Bad Boy with him. I actually didn't know that Bad Boy was co-founded by him and his friend. He gave his friend 25% and Puff gave his mother 75%.
The entertainment world is reeling as Sean Combs. The Reckoning drops on Netflix, arriving at the precise moment when Sean Diddy Combs is facing his career's fiercest storm. Behind bars, stripped of the power and privacy he once commanded, he is suddenly thrust into the spotlight in a way few have experienced. With Curtis 50 Cent Jackson attached as a producer, the series immediately sparked questions about motives. But the real shock comes from the footage itself. Legally obtained, unfiltered moments from the days before Diddy's arrest, capturing his private struggles, his strategies, and his fears. The series reveals a man under pressure, grappling with forces beyond his control, exposing layers of his story the public has never seen. To viewers, it's riveting storytelling. To Diddy, it's a confrontation with reality, a reminder that no one can fully control their legacy. The result is a documentary that doesn't just recount events, it shifts the narrative entirely, leaving audiences and insiders alike captivated, unsettled, and talking.
Combs' team firing back in a statement to NBC News today, saying the Netflix so-called documentary is a shameful hit piece and that they relied on stolen footage that was never authorized for release. His team sending a cease and desist to Netflix. Netflix referring NBC News to a statement from Stapleton in which she said they lawfully obtained the footage. After a nearly 8-week trial, Combs was acquitted of the more serious charges of and racketeering and sentenced to 50 months in federal prison for 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs' team going on to slam Netflix for partnering with 50 Cent, who they say has been his longtime public adversary, something the Grammy winner denied, citing his own casting choices in his popular Stars franchise, Power.
One could watch this and think that you really hate Sean Combs.
Why would they be thinking that?
Because of the things that you post on Instagram,
Yeah,
because
this,
of the...
Look at this. And let's stop for a second and do say that I hated him enough to hire his kids. And we've never done anything to each other. So it's just competitive energy and things that you say about other artists while you're in hip-hop culture.
This documentary is one of several that has chronicled Combs' rise and fall, but Stapleton says theirs is different.
Yeah, there's a lot of new information. No one had ever really put it together like that before.
For 50 Cent, he says he feels a sense of obligation.
Well, if I didn't say anything, you could assume that all of hip-hop culture is comfortable with his actions.
The long-standing tension between Diddy and 50 Cent has escalated into something far more serious than jokes or viral moments. This documentary has turned rivalry into a high-stakes battle over legacy, reputation, and influence. When the trailer dropped, insiders report that Diddy, confined behind bars, felt blindsided and powerless, unable to respond publicly or shape the narrative, watching from a distance as his image and family reputation were thrust into the spotlight. Meanwhile, 50 Cent has been outspoken, framing his involvement not as revenge, but as a reckoning he believes the industry needs, refusing to stay silent while others quietly avoid controversy. The clash is no longer private, it's a public reckoning where every choice, every statement, and every frame shapes how these two figures will be remembered, leaving audiences and insiders alike on edge, watching the story unfold in real time.
And Chloe Melas joins us now in studio. Chloe, you've seen the whole documentary. What else can you tell us about it?
So there's a lot more of this never-before-seen footage, Tom, of Combs having really private conversations with his legal team, and you really get a sense of his mindset ahead of his criminal trial, which is really fascinating for me because he never did any sit-down interviews ahead of the trial. So you finally get to see what his strategy was and how worried he was. But clearly, perhaps he didn't think that he was going to go to prison because he's filming this documentary. You're also going to hear from Aubrey O'Day. She was in the girl band Danity Kane as part of making the band. She has an explosive allegation against Combs. And then there's quite a bit that focuses on the Biggie and Tupac, and people from Combs's inner circle raising a lot of questions. People are going to also have a lot to say about that.
Diddy's team has dismissed these claims as baseless, insisting that 50 Cent's involvement is fueled by a personal agenda, and questioning Netflix's decision to attach someone long known for mocking Diddy to a documentary about his life. What began as a celebrity clash has morphed into a full-blown narrative battle. Diddy sees himself as a target, while 50 Cent frames his role as holding a powerful figure accountable, leaving the world to witness the collision of two uncompromising personalities. The series doesn't just capture Diddy's final days before his arrest. It revisits a history of allegations tied to his high-profile lifestyle, long circulated in lawsuits, interviews, and industry whispers. Many center on the private, exclusive events surrounding him, where some attendees reported discomfort and others felt compelled to participate in ways they did not choose, painting a picture of influence and control that amplified tension and shaped the legend and the controversy of his world.
People trying to downplay that whole man act and all like this. And let me just break something down to people that they don't know, because they sit up there and talk about, well, they only got him for prostitution in the Mann Act, but they got certain sectors in that Mann Act that has something to do with violence and beating people in the whole 9 yards. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. That's a segment in the Mann Act. And he had shown the participation of beating girls and being violent towards them, stuff like that. And it ain't only just the prostitution part of it. You understand? When a judge look at the whole scope of the thing, he knows the sectors in the Mann Act. You understand? But if that was you and I, check it out. If we got caught with guns in our house, you understand? Somebody's gonna have to take those gun charges. And if the feds don't take up the gun charge, where do they go to, sir? Do you know where they go to? No, sir, I don't. The state automatically picks it up. Yeah. The state didn't pick up the gun charges. If the feds do not charge you with the gun, it goes to the feds first. Because first of all, the serial numbers and everything was scratched off of them. Oh. The state should have picked that up and charged him, and they didn't. Why? If it was you and I, anybody looked like you, got your last name and rode on a boat with you, they would have got charged with those guns. And those guns would have held them up to either 5 or 10 years flat in the prison system.
The documentary avoids sensationalism, instead presenting interviews that reveal how Diddy's private events functioned as arenas of influence, strategy, and control. Attendees describe environments where loyalty was tested, boundaries were pushed, and decisions could make or break careers, patterns that echo allegations in past lawsuits of manipulation and pressure. It revisits old industry claims, including statements from former collaborators and rivals, framing Diddy's gatherings as more than parties, but as instruments of power that shielded him for years while keeping others cautious and compliant. This context explains why 50 Cent frames the series as overdue accountability, while Diddy sees it as a direct attack on his legacy. Once regarded as one of the most powerful figures in hip-hop, Diddy's influence spanned music, fashion, culture, and media, commanding attention and shaping careers. Yet the documentary underscores that with extraordinary influence comes hidden complexity, hinting at the depths of control and pressure behind the public persona that the world only glimpsed for decades.
And beanie, socks, and a gold chain.
So you're telling me Denzel Washington was button? He had a beanie on, socks on, and a gold chain, and that's it. In front of children. Funny. Because he sure portrays himself to be holier than thou.
Well, so a lot of them do.
I think you also told me that one of those men have a birthmark.
Left thigh.
So one of those men have a birthmark on their left thigh. Did you have actions with Diddy? Denzel? And I know we don't tell on Denzel. You might not tell on Denzel, but your mama gonna tell on everybody. I ain't keeping no pedophile. Denzel?
Yep.
Birdman? Did Birdman promise you things?
So much. Like what he promised Lil Wayne at a young age. Because you know we shared the system together. Share a birthday together too.
I know a lot of you have seen P. Diddy get guardianship of a lot of young kids. That means he holds their contracts. I know you heard me talk about Ali's contract and how often it gets auctioned off, and the things that come from that when it's auctioned. So when you're seeing that he was a guardian for these children, he's holding their MK Ultra contracts is what that translates to. Were you the only child at this party?
No. Not at all. I had so many kids at this party.
Were there also so many celebrities?
Yep.
Through interviews with former associates, the documentary reveals an environment where Diddy's presence was always felt, where loyalty was demanded, behavior monitored, and influence exerted over speech, alliances, and actions. While Diddy has consistently denied any wrongdoing, these accounts portray a culture in which challenging him was nearly impossible and obedience was expected. 50 Cent, long vocal about power dynamics in the music industry, framed his involvement as exposing how influential figures can shield themselves behind glamour, success, and reputation. By lending his name to the project, he transformed what might have been a legal narrative into a broader cultural confrontation, turning the series into a lens on authority, influence, and accountability in hip-hop. A shift that reshaped the conversation and escalated the stakes far beyond any courtroom. Diddy sees the documentary as an attack on his legacy, a force rewriting his story while he remains confined, and his team claims the footage was taken without consent, shattering the control he once held over his narrative. Its release sent shockwaves through the entertainment world, dividing opinion and leaving many artists silent, unwilling to speak publicly, despite being privately stunned.
Does it feel like all these years you've been the only one calling this out?
I look like I've been the crazy guy for a long
They
time.
say you're a hater. They say
You're a
you're
hater.
crazy.
You do this. Yeah, and now everybody's complaining. My ass is hurting. There's all this shit that's coming.
50, you can't make jokes about it.
No.
The internet might come for you, bro.
All I'm saying
It
is,
might come from you.
you see it now. All of these complaints. People were damned. They were raped and pillaged. This was what was going on. Right? And
For months, 50 Cent has called out the industry's silence, arguing that many knew what was happening but stayed quiet because it was easier, and that the culture around Diddy allowed certain behavior to go unchecked. He frames his involvement as a mission for transparency, insisting the public deserves the full story. Meanwhile, Diddy's family, legal team, and supporters counter that the documentary is unfair, presenting private moments out of context and ignoring the decades of work he invested in building his empire. Public reaction has been electric. Some are shocked by the recordings, others feel it confirms long-held suspicions, and debates rage over accountability, privacy, and influence. The central question remains: is the series an honest reckoning, or just one perspective of a complex, decades-long narrative?
Guys, this is nuts. Sean Diddy Combs was still filming himself a week before he got arrested, months after the feds had already raided and taken all his tapes. And somehow that footage got to 50 Cent, who's now put it in his Netflix documentary. Needless to say, Sean Diddy Combs' lawyers are not too happy. Well, we got the clips, and you're going to want to watch them before they might get pulled elsewhere. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and look, I'm sharing what YouTube has already out. The news is all over it. Good Morning America. I don't know if this footage was legally obtained. I'm not sure. I'm going to give you my speculation as well as my shock that somehow all this footage Sean Diddy Combs was filming before he got arrested after the raids got into the hands of 50 Cent, one of his arch nemesis. And now 50 has put the footage in his Netflix documentary. The mogul spokesman, Diddy spokesman, said they're deeply concerned that video shot days before the arrest is in this new documentary produced by his rival. How did
The fallout has shifted the way the world sees Diddy, from a towering music mogul to a man whose story is now being shaped by others, a reality he struggles to accept. The clash with 50 Cent transcends entertainment news. It has become a cultural flashpoint where private power collides with public exposure, two formidable personalities bound together by a documentary neither can escape. To Diddy, it is a threat to his identity, a force designed to dismantle the narrative he meticulously built, with 50 Cent cast as its orchestrator. For 50 Cent, it is about breaking the silence others feared to challenge, sparking critical conversations about influence, accountability, and power in the industry. The series exposes how rapidly a legacy can shift when private moments enter the public arena, revealing a side of Diddy the world has never seen, one he never intended to release, and a transformation that may be impossible to undo.
I want to get a lawyer on it to confirm it, but I got to be honest, I'm kind of shocked. You'd think, well, this should all be included. Should it not?
Listen to me. I'm going to get off the phone right now, and I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what, no matter what nobody said. Let's just, here and there, y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
The footage is...
The way he's bossed around these high-powered lawyers is so revealing.
Part of a new, highly anticipated docuseries by director Alex Stapleton and rapper and executive producer...
Look at that smile. Look at that smile. Oh, he's loving this.
Jackson, titled Sean Combs, The Reckoning. Was there anything that surprised you when you were watching?
I think it was surprising that he actually filmed it.
It was very interesting to watch a man who's known for his brand presence. You know, he has a really amazing knack for marketing and all of that, and how he was sort of taking that into account and how he was coming off to the public.
We knew that was coming, by the way, because we learned that throughout, as he was using his own kids to post birthday messages and etc. Like, this guy wants to control everything.
The exclusive video also shows Combs in Harlem greeting fans.
He's like, oh yeah, look at all these. This was yeah, what's up? Let me shake your hands. Yeah, let me take this. He thrives in this. This is and people recognize him. He says, what up? Like, barely anybody there. He's like, yeah, everybody's here looking at me. He's like the quarterback that can never graduate, it feels like to me.
I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath.
I've been in the streets amongst people. I gotta take a bath. He's like horrified. He's disgusted by it.
Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do.
I have to do it. Not like, oh, that was so great, I loved it. I have to do it.
You know what I'm saying? It's like 150 hugs.
He's got to take those 150 hugs. Now, that's when she asked, like, 50 Cent, why'd you include this?
Like, I need to wash. Like, I'm dirt. This shows you his character.
Is that was that the reason for including it?
Yeah. I mean, what's the odds that you would do that in front of the camera? Like, that's one of the moments where he forgot he was on tape.
I think he does that a lot, surprisingly. I think he just lives his life with cameras. He was filming his most intimate moments, allegedly, with these freak-offs, right? Revealing his true self and the most, aggressive side of himself. He didn't care.
I respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform.
What they consider a pre-existing beef, right? For 20 years. Right, it's me being uncomfortable with him suggesting that he takes me shopping, or I looked at it like it was like a tester, like maybe you'll come play with me, type of thing, right? And it's not personal.
I think it's important.
And she chimes in too, but I want to, just before we hear her pop, he said, what a feud. I put 2 of his kids in my scripted TV shows. I just didn't like, he said, Fruity S to me. And he said Fruity S to me. I don't like that, LOL. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it. He just said it, I think, very clearly. Look, he was testing me. Are you in? Are you into play? Are you going to play along with me? Can I have some fun with you? I do think clearly was it. Can you be my Paul?
As the documentary continues to dominate headlines and reactions, surge across social media and beyond, and as Diddy prepares to challenge his conviction through an appeal, the path forward grows increasingly uncertain. Careers could be reshaped, new revelations may emerge from unexpected corners, and the cultural clash between 2 of hip-hop's most influential powerhouses shows no indication of slowing down.
But in the most narcissistic, dangerous type of way. And he's getting caught doing more and more stuff that's keeping his time longer and longer in prison, stuff he said he wouldn't do. But that's what this man's always done, is lied. Cassie's a liar. Cassie's a liar. She's ruining my reputation. And then the footage comes out. Oh, I'm deeply, blah, 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 blah. I'm so sick of this guy. The fact that he thought it was wise to be filming himself, literally after the raid, that just shows this guy really considered he was too big to fail. And that's a motto I've learned in this industry. No one is too big to fail. No one. Everyone who's ever fallen, think about it. Everybody has fallen. They get back up, or sometimes don't fall as far down. But nobody is too big to fall. And that's a lesson Sean, I don't think, still has.
So you have something huge coming up, which is a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now. And then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy. I mean,
but I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated to a degree.
But was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day? Obviously, I know what's going on there, but is there a reason you never did?
I'm just not with all that. All of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal. You go into the 90s, and Kiki D said he paid him to kill Tupac.
Yeah.
So look, like, you get the craziest accusations. You had TMZ created a docuseries. They went to Tubi, but the series is saying the downfall of Diddy.
You're one of the first persons in entertainment to really call out people and kind of have that authority in that. to be able to call people out. I mean, which is pretty amazing. You're kind of, in some ways, draining the swamp of Hollywood. And
yeah, I don't have a support system. I don't have a support system of a peer group of artists that I require to do what I'm doing. I've had to be on my own from the beginning. So I don't necessarily have a responsibility to behave a certain way according to them. You know, and look, if I didn't have an award-winning director doing it, if I hadn't put the right people in place to produce it properly.
The central question hangs in the air with even greater weight. When conflicting narratives collide, private footage leaks into the public sphere, and each side insists it holds the real truth. Where will the public place its trust? The discourse remains charged, the stakes only climb higher, and the story continues to evolve in real time, leaving fans, critics, and casual observers alike to determine how loyalty, perception, and accountability ultimately converge in this unfolding saga.